Hello, my lovelies. I hope you can hear me okay. I'm on my tablet today, so I thought I'd pop on. It's a really miserable, wet afternoon here in the UK, in the southeast of the UK. Um, and I didn't do a live yesterday, so I thought let's do a live. And I've got Basil here just off camera. We're sitting by our sacred space, and he's just suddenly decided to come and join me. Hello, welcome. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I hope you can hear me okay. Let me know if you can. That would be really useful. Let's say, oh, Jen, you're here. Hello, Jen, my lovely. Good to see you here. I hope you're doing very well. Red Wing, hello there. Hi there. I'm using my stylus today, and I'm being very careful. Every time I use this, I tend to take myself out the stream, so I'm being super careful there. So, hello, Red Wing. Hello to you, my lovely. Vanessa, good morning to you. Lovely to see you here. Thank you for joining us. Um, Good morning, Jamie. Hello to you there. And hello to you. Hello, stranger. How are you? Good to see you, Kelly. Hiya, Peter. Good to see you. Happy Samhain. Absolutely. It is that weekend, isn't it? What a great weekend. Can't wait to celebrate. Can't wait to celebrate. So good to see everyone here. Hey, Queen. I love it. Hello, Cat Eve Evans. Sorry, Cat Evans. Rainy here in part of Ohio too. Oh, Basil's using his tail there. So Basil, go and sit down somewhere. Um, it's all a bit put together today, kind of in a different space because of bits and pieces. Let me just get rid of the cat. You go over there. That's it. Um, Hi, Henry. Good. Hello, Gerald, my lovely. Good to see you. I hope you're doing very well. And Vanessa's in Arizona. Hello to you. Thank you for joining me. Thank you. Got 12 of you. That's remarkable. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. As I say, so I'm in the my bedroom, I should say, next to the sacred space. If you've got any comment questions, I'm going to do my best to put them up on the live stream here. As I'm doing it on my tablet, so hopefully everything's working okay. So really exciting. I've had a really exciting few days. I have been away. It's been half-term holiday here, and so Peter and I decided to take the opportunity to head off for 3 nights to a place called the New Forest in the UK. If you know the UK, along the bottom, the south coast, it's about halfway along. Really beautiful part of the world, called the New Forest. Very good reason. It's very foresty. There's a lot of trees around. Um, a beautiful part of the world, very wild, lovely villages, nice towns. There's the coast as well, lovely beaches, and of course the beautiful New Forest this time of year. Nothing like it in the world. The leaves are just changing. Most of them are deciduous trees and pine forests as well. There's some red squirrels around, but they're most famous as well for wild ponies that trek around the New Forest. And I did post some of my pictures up on Facebook for people to enjoy. So I hope you had a chance to see those there. Oh, it's sunshine in Edinburgh. Well, Scotland, Redwing, you've had your fair share of the bad weather, haven't you? So yeah, um, we've had it as well with our weather warning there. But I'm pleased you got some sunshine. How lovely there. Um, Jamie, just commenting there, just looking at the comments there. Hello to everyone joining us. Great to see you here. So I thought I'd just pop on and say hello, kind of happy Halloween. I know there's a lot of lives coming up next week with Longstash, a little bit more about that. But I have got a little discussion I want to talk about and see if people can help me out in a minute because it's going to come out as part of the travels that we went to. So how is everyone? I hope you're okay. I've got a cup of tea here with my autumnal color design Costa mugs. That's great. And also, I'm very proud, and I have to show you this. Look at this. I hope you can see it. Oh, it's not going to show up very well. Let's see if I can got click. But I don't know if you can see. Can you see that? Look at that. I have my own range of tableware now. Look at that. It's not actually mine. It's from a brewery, but a local brewery but I managed to get one of their glasses. So I'm going to use this forever. So there you go, Gerald. I'm not the only one with branded stuff now. Look at that. Hello, Donna. Good to see you, my lovely. I hope you are. Hope you're well. It is a nice surprise. I said I'm popping on for a little while. Don't know how long we'll do. We'll talk about where I've been, some of the things I bought along the way, although obviously purchase responsibly and all that kind of stuff. Hi, Kristen. Good to see you here. Autumnal. Yeah, I'll have to put this up. Autumnal, everyone. Let's say that together. Autumnal. Autumnal. And Jamie's snuggling in the dark of first light coming with two dogs, and Stephen's gone to the bakery to pick up breakfast. Hello. Oh, wow. Hello there, Donna. Said hello to Donna. Anyone else popping in? Hello, hello, hello. Oh, Chris is here. Hi, Chris. I thought I saw you mentioned earlier. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Good to see you here. So just a bit of a catch up, really. Yeah. So yeah, into the New Forest, beautiful part of the world. Ever get the chance to go to the New Forest near Hampshire? Fantastic, lovely, lovely walks. And as I discovered, quite a lot of witchy, metaphysical, woo-woo shops, whatever you want to call them, more than I was expecting. So I managed to pick up quite a few things along the way, and I just wanted to show them to you and have a little talk about bits and pieces that have gone on there. I'm just catching up. There we go. I think everyone's here. Good, good. Yeah, so let me just explain. Peter and I had a week off. We booked this really lovely converted milking shed from a farm just outside a place called Ringwood. Beautiful, all mod cons, underfloor heating, lovely breakfast area, huge comfortable bedroom. They all had the beams and everything there still in situ, but obviously tidied up and cleaned up. Beautiful area outside with a hot tub. 3 nights of absolute luxury, and we had a truly wonderful time. Did lots of walking, lots of visiting touristy places, lots of pub food. Absolutely really lovely time. Hi, Lisa. Good to see you. Thank you for dropping by. Oh, Ken's got a dash. Okay, my lovely. See you very soon. You have a great weekend too. So, first thing I did is that Ringwood is a tiny little market town. I've never heard of it before. I actually booked a place to stay nearby. So I thought, well, there's not much going on. We're going to go and just have a look around there. Hi, Trevor. I missed this Jen prepping coffee. So yeah, I thought it's not going to be much around here. A few charity shops and a Sainsbury's. Little did I know, there was a crystal shop on the main high street, and yeah, I had to go in, and of course, I had to purchase some things. So now I, as you probably know, have quite a lot of crystals. So I'm very, very choosy about buying new crystals, and I only picked up one that I kind of saw and thought, I think I've got one of those. So I don't think I want to buy another one, but it was in a pendant form. And so I picked this up and put it back down again. And I picked it up and I put it back down again. And I picked it up and I thought, yeah, I need that one. It's calling. So there we go. Anyone want to take a guess at what stone that is before I tell it to you? So there it is. As you can see, it's on a little clasp. So I'm going to put that on a thong or something around my neck. Perhaps yeah, liver pendant there. It is gorgeous. Thank you, Jamie. Yeah. Oh, crystals. You're absolutely right. Well done, Kristen. You're there. Bloodstone. No, it's not a bloodstone, actually. No, it's close to it. I thought you had it there. Anyone else will have a guess? Are you and the stash doing readings for Samuel Hain? We certainly are on Monday, Chris. Salwin, long stash readings. It's there. I'm going to put a thing out, a thumbnail out, and we are simulcasting. So yeah. Anyone else want to have a guess before we go anywhere? It's called Dragonstone. Oh, it looks just like that, does it, Chris? Perhaps it's got 2 names there. It's called Dragonstone. Apparently, the green represents the scale of the dragon, and the red represents its blood. Apparently it's very good for meditation. So yeah, so I picked that one up. I'm going to pop that just there. So that was one of the things I picked up in this shop. As I said, just literally the backwater of where I was staying. Wasn't expected to come across something. And I picked up some smelly stuff. So I'm always a bit funny about showing smelly stuff on YouTube because obviously you can't smell it. But let me have a go then. Bloodstone, a lot of people coming in there. Yeah, dragon something. There we go, dragon something. Thank you. It is beautiful. I think it's a form of carnelian family. I think you're right. I'm going to have to look it up a little bit more. It's funny when I go on my phone and start searching up properties of stones, they all seem to come from the same source, and it's even worded the same way. So I don't know whether there's a kind of algorithm that feeds into a lot of these websites that just give the same description. But I will have a little look here. Oh, I thought dragon's blood. Yeah, dragon's blood. Well done, Donna. So some smelly stuff coming up. So we have frankincense and myrrh incense because it's soon be Christmas, and I do like to have some Christmassy incense because because I buy a lot of crystals. That's nothing compared to the amount of incense sticks I seem to have. I've got a drawer full of them. I really didn't need any more of this. And I've got some dragon's fire, which is incense stick. I've already got these, and I really, really love them, and I really like those for cleansing. So dragon's blood, basically. Well, that one box, so I won't bother showing you that one for too long. But I also picked up a few. Now, I kind of got into essences and oils, and I picked up two that I've seen recently on a video for doing stuff with. And one is rosemary. Now, I know you can use rosemary in from the shops, and it's really easy to buy. But I just kind of like the smell of it around and to put it into an oil burner that I've got. Yeah. And the other one is orange. Now, orange has, for me, living with two cats, an extra purpose. Not only does it smell wonderful any time of the year, but particularly at Christmas, but it keeps cats away. So if you have, for example, a 10-foot high Christmas tree like what I do, and cats that like to climb it, if you put some orange zest, orange peel, or orange oil around, they won't go near it. They don't like it very much. So I picked that one up. So not only is the place going to smell nice, it will hopefully be useful if the cats get a bit wanting to mess about, start scratching or something. Oh, Jamie, I'm digging the spot you're broadcasting from. I love this. Is in my bedroom. This is the spot. Peter's using the computer. I was going to go in the kitchen, but I put the washing machine on, and it's just too noisy. So yeah. But this is right by my bed, I have to say. So I've got little tour. I'm not going to move the camera around, but up here we've got the drums and tambourines and bits and pieces there. Behind me, you've got lots of bits and pieces around, including cards of the week, wheel of the year, some leaves, lots of sticks with toadstools and things for this time of year. I'm standing right front and see if I can move that over here, if you can see it a bit better. So there's kind of toadstools, some owls. They're all made of wool there. There's my picture of Shakespeare that was given to me about 10 years ago, which I absolutely love. You probably can't tell from here, but it's actually all made out of the words of All the World's a Stage. So that's all writing that's been written around, hand painted on to create the shadows and the contours of his face. Yeah, and then there's the Unity candle and bits and pieces, and then this shelf here is bits and pieces that I use: stones, salt lamp, my tarot books, statues, and then tarot decks all the way up there as well. There's a quick tour. I wouldn't plan to do that one there, but yeah, it is a very cozy, relaxing corner, and quite often I broadcast here when I do the Glastonbury Unity candle on a Monday. So yeah, I'm just going to catch up with some of these chats, because I'm missing an awful lot of stuff. So pardon me. So there we go, Jamie. That's the corner of the bedroom. Donna says maybe a cliche, but I love frankincense and myrrh. I do too. I never used to, but I really certainly like frankincense now since I started using proper incense. And Cat Evans said, love dragons. Now I need to look for one purchased responsibly. Absolutely. Quite a common stone, I believe. Oh, lots of guesses. I'm sorry I missed out all your guesses there. Cornelian, dragon something. Yeah, Unicite. Yeah. Do you know what? I have to record them, take photos and record them. Otherwise, I do miss bits and pieces there. So well done for your guesses. Uh, yeah, a lot of the essential oils are poisonous to cats, unfortunately, and a lot of things that we bring in at Christmas as well. So holly berries, mistletoe is particularly dangerous for animals. So don't be careful if you bring those in. Holly obviously gets in their paws, and people bring things like yew in, which is an evergreen tree, and that's just deadly poisonous. So please don't bring yew in. That's YEU as a tree or decoration because it is really, really dangerous. As long as you use it in small quantities. So I would soak a bit of cloth with this, or perhaps rub it onto an area of furniture, just so that they're going to keep away from it rather than scratch it. Try it; it might work, but obviously do be really, really careful. Wherever you are in your place, it's fabulous. Thank you so much. I hope you like it. Oh, it is a cozy corner. You're right. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that done as well. I don't use oil. You know, the ones that are quite popular now that you plug in and they kind of light up different colors and they pop out. Those apparently aren't very good. But what I do is I have a lamp with a little holder of water in there and I literally put 2 or 3 drops in and it goes over a period of sort of 2 or 3 days rather than being a strong pulse of it. Oh, you're very kind. Thank you very much. I literally I didn't even tidy it, but it looks better at night time, believe you me. But we've got a window opposite us, so yeah. Oh, hello, early Richard. Good to see you here. Good to see you here. Hope you're doing very well. James says I'm such a voyeur because I love, love, love getting a peek into these spaces. Yeah. Well, the rest of the room's a bit of a tip, so you're not seeing that one, but it's this is the bit I'm choosing, allowing you to see. Oh, yeah, poinsettias are particularly bad. I never have those in the house because I know that cats, particularly mine, like to chew things. So yeah, I like to say frankincense and myrrh. Even it's even fun to say. It is. Yeah. Oh, I enjoy seeing people's spaces. I like sharing them. It's just a very tight space I'm sitting in, so literally I don't have much room to move, and everything's laid out in front of me. So anyway, onward, onward. Well, I've got something really exciting to tell you. I have to write something down so I don't forget it. Okay, so that was where we were staying in Ringwood. The next day, we decided we were going to go out and go for a drive around and a walk and stuff, which we did. The weather was pretty poor, but on the way we drove through lots of little villages, and they are tiny little villages that quite frankly haven't got. I mean, they haven't changed very much in 100 years. They're still very isolated. You've got a village pub, a village post office, a tiny little local shop, perhaps a cafe, and several other shops for things like the local interests, like cycle hires or general stores or that kind of thing. Anyway, we drove through this one village that was called Burley, and I said to Peter, "Oh, look, there's another kind of crystal shop over there." And he went, "Huh," and we carried on driving around the corner. Oh, there's another one, and oh, hang on, there's a witch shop, and there was literally 5 or 6 shops in this road, in this village, that had witchy crystal fairy things in it. It was like, oh my goodness, it's like a mini Glastonbury. So we pulled over, found a parking space, pulled over, went and had a look around. It was heaving with people. I've never seen so many people in a tiny village going in and out of these shops that, if I'm honest, all tend to sell the same stuff. You know the kinds of things I'm talking about: lots of crystals, incense, ornaments, statues, books, the stuff. And obviously, they're all very fairly priced because they're all competing against one another. So I was like, why is this tiny village with possibly, I don't know, 150, 200 people living in it, got 5 or 6 witchcraft shops? That makes absolute no sense. So I did have a Google, and the village that we went to, what that it was in, it was is called Burley, and it's famous because a very famous English witch called Sybil Leek used to live there back in the 50s and 60s, and she became like the famous UK witch back in that time. I don't actually know any more about her. I'm going to have to do some research, apart from the fact that she sold up her a house and moved to Florida, I think it was, where she lived out her years there. But she was a well-known person, a witch who would go out. You'd see her out doing her rituals and her spells. Um, and it was just fantastic to come across this place. It was like, oh my goodness, I just can't believe I've driven through a tiny little village. It was like Brigadoon, if you know about Brigadoon, that appears just by, out the mist when it's once a year. It was a bit like that. You would never know it was there unless you passed through it. So that was really, really exciting there. Hi Tom, good to see you there. Hope you're doing well. It was a village with tons of I know, absolutely incredible. It was heaving as well, like I said. So it's half term here, so there was a lot of people with lots of kids, lots of people brought their dogs in. It was wonderful, but these shops tend to be quite small in these villages, so you're packing a lot of people in, and of course there's not much space. So after a little while, I was a bit like, right, I've kind of had a bit too much of people here, a bit too agoraphobic for my liking here. But we stayed half an hour, and I did pick up a couple of things which I'm going to share with you. Um, like I said, I wasn't there to spend lots of money. I didn't I didn't have any plans to. There were some really nice things. And what I was very good at was thinking, oh, I'd like to buy that. And then thinking, am I just being whipped up into the hype of being here? Do I actually need it? Will I actually use it? And I ended up putting back a lot of stuff because of it. But what I did pick up is one of these books, these by Glennie Kindred. And I love Glennie Kindred as an author. She does a lot of stuff about the natural world and nature and cycles. And this one's called Creating Ceremony. And she's written a lot of books that are published, and you can get them all on Amazon and other places. But she also produces these tiny little kind of pamphlets. I don't know what you're going to call them, tiny little books that aren't bound like a normal book. And they're so useful for dipping in. So there's loads that I've got. Trees, Ritual is this one. There's another one about the Wheel of the Year. Oh, there's about 5 or 6, and I'm slowly collecting them. So I bought this one here. These are £6.99. And what I like about them is she hands writes or writes them or types them in like a handwritten kind of font, and she illustrates them herself. Now, if you've got any of Glennie Kindred's books, her main publisher, it's pretty much a condensed version of what you'll find in her books. But these are so useful. If you have been following the series on the trees, the Celtic trees, and the spreads that I've been putting on Facebook, I've literally got most of that information from the Glennie Kindred book on the trees of the year, the native trees. I can't remember the title of the book itself. Yeah, so that was a real find. But saying that, they are in most shops in London, to a magic shop or tarot shop. These would be very common. You would probably find those around. And I think you can buy, I don't know if Amazon do these, but they certainly sell her books as well. So that was the one thing I picked up. Then I bought a couple of cards that I like. So let's see if we get this one there. So I like this one as a kind of Christmassy card. I might think about who to send that to, because you know me, I love a barn owl. And then the next one's a bit of a joke, because this year, just gone, I went wassailing. In fact, I think I made a video of it, posted it on the channel. Back in January, we went to a local pub where they did the whole wassail, and they had Morris dancers and mummers plays. And then we all did the wassail of the tree in the garden, the apple tree. And then we went to the pub and inside and just sang local songs and songs for 2 hours while getting quite drunk on cider. And it was a blast. And I took my sister and my brother-in-law, who'd never been to one before, and we absolutely thoroughly enjoyed it and plan to go back again, hopefully this coming January, if it's run again. And so we were saying about wassail and how much fun it was. And I picked up this card, which I'm going to send them in January. And it says, "We hope that your apple trees prosper and bear wassail." And I just thought that's a really unusual card to have, and I want to grab that opportunity. And even they've got the actual wassail poem on the back there, which it's quite long. I won't read out to you. So that's what I picked up in that shop. Not much, so enough, but just things that I just thought I'm not going to see those again. And I quite like cards. As you'll see, I've got a few more as I go. So there we go. Um, just having a little look. Uh, Sounds like a wonderful dream. Tons of witchy shops. Yeah. Could not be coincidence to have that many of those little shops in such a small place. That's what I thought. I was like, okay. Lots of people were kind of dressed up as well, but not dressed up for Halloween, if you know what I mean. So a lot of people were just wearing lots of lovely, floaty outfits and stripy tights, and I'm like, I think you wear that all year round. It's not just for Halloween. And so I didn't want to be rude to go, oh, I've just arrived here. What's going on? So I did have a bit of a Google, and then I found a poster on in a shop that's saying a little bit about it. So Jamie says, love places like that to wander, but absolutely. And it was just beautiful trees all around, a little stream running through it. You've got a lot of wildlife around there. It is near Portsmouth, yeah. So it's in the New Forest. It's near. Well, I was staying at Ringwood, so Burley is the place, and I do recommend it if you get a chance. I don't like crowds either. It's the kind of crowds. God bless them, and I'm so pleased that these shops have a lot of people visiting them, and hopefully spending money. Um, but to go with that are crowds of people that are, how can I say this without being rude? They're kind of in their own little bubble, and they are not very aware of other people trying to get round, or how much space they take up, or the fact that they might not even they're browsing but not buying, and they just kind of tend to not clock. I'm sounding rude and miserable, and I really don't want to be. But after a while of just fighting away round these kind of tiny shops, it's a bit like at Christmas having to do Christmas shopping in a small shop, and everybody's not kind of sure what to do or what they want, and they're just kind of browsing. Uh, After a while, it just gets a bit too much for me, and I have to just kind of go, no, right, that's it. I've had enough there. It's me just being bloody miserable. I wouldn't know, Jamie. When you find a small village in Nebraska, it just usually has fruitcake. I like that one there. Hi. Hi, Ben. Um, Lise says, plus the mix of crystal shops in the end. Yeah, there was some really good energies down there, actually. I did notice the whole of that energy, whether it's just the natural countryside and all the trees. 'Cause there are trees everywhere. The New Forest, it was specially planted. Well, not specially planted. It was part of William the Conqueror's kind of hunting ground, basically, for hundreds of years. So it was never really built on. So loads of the trees and loads of the ancient wood, and it's still looked after, which is fantastic. Oh, you like the owl card? That's nice. Those are awesome cards. You wait, I've got some more to show. It is nice to support the local shops, a few unique items. Yeah. Oh, Nancy is here. Hello, my lovely. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for popping by. Vanessa, write that place on your list. Absolutely, yeah. And Donna says, I understand what you mean about people not being aware of who or what is going on around. Again, it's one of the shops. People had their dogs with them. Again, not another problem with that. But these dogs then decided to have a fight in the middle, and all the leads got caught up. And so it's like, this is just hell. Actually, I'm going to have to leave because this is not not the shopping experience I was looking for. So, but then it is half-term school holidays, so that's the joy of being off. But it goes with it. The shops are quite busy. Kat says, I found a surprise metaphysical shop in a nearby town that's known for antiques and boutiques. So they could have you could have knocked me over with a feather. Absolutely. When you come across these shops, it's it is amazing. And as I said, what particularly amazed me was I was literally going, there's one that's true. there's 5 or 6 of these shops and one is very, very old and been there a really long time, and it was very reasonably priced. So, as I said, and it says it's wonderful when a town or city with a special energy. Yes, that's true for Santa Fe and New Orleans. Okay, so all right. Do you know what? I'd love to go to New Orleans. I would really like to. Um, I don't know why, because I'm not a great lover of the music, but there's something about it that would just had a calling towards me. Um, Donna says, I'm happy to report that Salem, Massachusetts, been taken over by witches. The Puritans must be rolling. It did have that feel to it because obviously, having Sybil Leek lived there, going off the back of everything there, it is interesting. It's it's a bit fascinating. Oh, hi, Plucky. Woke up and here you all are. Hello. Yes, this is where we've been hiding. Welcome. Happy good morning to you. Nancy says, I live in a pretty small town with a massive metaphysical. I'm lucky where I live. It's a seaside town, pretty big town. Not the most attractive. Well, it is pretty attractive, but not the most abundant of shops. But I have one, two, three shops where I can pick up basic stuff, incense, crystals, and one person as well, my friend Leah, who's been on my channel, who has a witch shop here, which is open sometime as well. So I'm so lucky, again, really blessed by that. But it's really interesting actually how these shops are taking residence in high streets and becoming more familiar. And people are sort of not happy, but it's you can go into them, you can find them easy, and there's no stigma attached to it. That's what I'm trying to say, I suppose, which is great. It's true. Salem is a place I haven't been and really want to visit. Yeah, love to. I bet it's heaving this time of year. Right, so that was Ringwood. Then we went to some really cool places. I'm not going to go through where all the bits and pieces we did, but yesterday was a very exciting when we were leaving and coming home. So normally it's about a 2.5 hour drive. But right out there, we are right next to Salisbury, which of course is Salisbury Plain, and of course Salisbury Plain is Stonehenge, and Stonehenge is Avebury, and all the other stuff. So we decided to take a slightly different detour home. So we left where we were at 10 o'clock, and we drove to a place I'd never been before called Old Sarum. Now, Old Sarum, I didn't know much about. It was a Neolithic kind of site. It's on the top of a hill, but over the centuries, people have been living there and building castles and bits and pieces, and they dug out moats. So it is really, really, I'm going to use the word fortified by ditches and things like that. And it's up really, really high. There used to be a cathedral up there. There used to be a castle where King John lived. So it was a royal palace. Lots of just remains now. But it was beautiful and really never been, really inspiring to go to. Lovely sunny day, you could see all the autumn colours. It didn't rain. And just wandering around, there was a really lovely energy of where things have been happening there for thousands of years. So that was the first port of call. Now, Old Sarum is part of what they call the Stonehenge landscape, because we often think of Stonehenge as just being a monument in the middle of Salisbury. No, 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 no. There are simply hundreds of different parts that all link together across many, many miles. So Old Sarum, Stonehenge, and Avebury. Avebury, I've talked about many times before. It's another huge stone circle. They're all in a straight line, and they're all about sort of half an hour's drive between each one. So we stopped off on the way. So we went from Old Sarum to Stonehenge. Now, hands up here, this is going to sound awful, but I only went to the gift shop at Stonehenge. I didn't go to the stones, and I'm really sorry, and I hate saying that because I always love going to Stonehenge, but it was hideously busy. Lots of people there. The weather decided from going from sunny to suddenly just chuck it down with rain. From the visitor centre, you have to either walk half an hour or you can get buses, and then it takes you to the stone circle, and then you walk around it and then get on a bus back. And we would have got only soaked. It would have been heaving. there were loads and loads of people visiting, which is fantastic. It was so lovely to see that, the sites were busy and lots of people from all around the world have visited it, and we're getting a great excitement out of it all. But I'm like, Peter, I really can't go to Stonehenge right now. I'll go to the gift shop. I'll use the toilets. I'll even go in the cafe and have a hot chocolate. I'll go to the gift shop and I'll purchase, but I'm not going to the Stone Circle this time. So, so I do apologise for anyone that thinks that that's a cop out. But I have been fortunate to have been into Stonehenge several times before. I know it very, very well. And I just didn't get the draw and didn't really feel like I would needed to go. So don't shoot me for that, people, if going to Stonehenge has always been your dream. But the gift shop is amazing. Let me just point that bit out to you, and I'm going to go through that bit in a minute. I'm just catching up. Donna says, I've been trying to take a trip there for my bestie last couple of. Is that Salem? Oh, that'd be amazing. And Donna says, it used to be doable when I lived in New York, but now you're in France. Yeah, it's quite difficult. That says, for your information, I used to be a paralegal in immigration. When I gave people their green cards, I always recommended they visit Santa Fe. Oh, right, okay. When in France, I'm just sorry, I'm really tiny to it, if you don't mind saying. Well, yeah, where are you living in France? It's, yeah, I just read the Auvergne in the middle of the Auvergne there, yeah. When I went to Stonehenge years ago, you could walk amongst the stones and touch them quite a while ago. Yeah, you can't do that on a daily thing now, but you can at special occasions. So I went at the winter solstice, and you can. And now they've got a bit more open about allowing people in at dawn on most of the equinoxes now and solstices. And they also do what's really cool is they do a photo or they take a photo every morning of sunrise and put the sunrise time at Stonehenge on it must be their Facebook page, so people can kind of look at it that way. But you're right. When I first went, I remember climbing all over the stones. Now you can't, only on special occasions. Yeah, and I do feel really, really bad that I didn't go, but yeah. Christians can't wait to go back to France. Yeah, Santa Fe, New Orleans for their music thing there. But like I said, the gift shop's amazing. Now, over here in the UK, we have two there's lots of different societies that look after monuments and famous points. The National Trust is probably the most famous one, and there's also one called the English Heritage. Peter and I are members of both of them. Now, this is where it gets a bit weird, is that English Heritage own the Salisbury Plain, but National Trust run the centre, I believe. So you can go in with either of the cards there. My expectations to go to Stonehenge were too high. I think 23 years ago. Jan's going to Paris this weekend. Oh, very nice. And you'll be home with the dog, so don't mind. Sorry, lost track there. Yeah, Stonehenge. So huge visitor centre, fantastic museum. One of my favourite things is as you walk in, they've got a circular room that you pass through that shows Stonehenge as if you were standing in the centre of it at different periods of its history. So before the big stones were there, and it was just the blue stones around, and then it shows it during different seasons, and you get to see what it would look like at sunset on certain days of the year. See it in snow. You get to see it when it was a processional for people to bury their dead in. It's fascinating. It's one of the best experiences. I just love going there and spending a few minutes just watching the videos. They've got some fantastic cases of exhibits and stuff, and a really good gift shop. So the gift shop there sells fantastic mead, which I bought this year on an earlier visit, which I'm going to open up at Yule. But what they do carry is some really good books, and they have a lot of books about paganism, a lot of books about druidry. They have a lot of Ronald Hutton. If you know about Ronald Hutton, he's a university, I think it's Cambridge or Oxford, I can't remember. university lecturer that's written. He's the world-known, university lecturer on witchcraft, paganism, ritual, and all that one there. He's always popping up on TV. He's a wonderful character. And they've always got his books. And I was going to buy it. There's one that's come out called Blood and Mistletoe. I think it's called, all about druids. But it was a really big book with tiny, tiny print. And I thought, I'm going to have to buy that on Kindle just so I can have a bigger font to look at there. So that was the plan. But while I was browsing, I picked up this as well, the Danu Forest, The Magical Year, which is her book about, or their books, or I should say, about the Wheel of the Year and celebrating it. And one of the things I love about the Stonehenge gift shop is that if you are a member of English Heritage, you get 10% discount. So it was the normal £16.99 published price, and you got nearly £1.70 off. So that's a bit of a bargain. So I picked up that one there. And this looks fascinating. Lots of different things to do to celebrate the equinoxes and Sabbats, and really lovely illustrations as well. If I can get that in as well. So that's what I picked up at Stonehenge. So the last port of call was Avebury. And Avebury, I have to say, if I had a choice between Stonehenge and Avebury, I would go to Avebury every time, because Avebury is very, very magical. Yes, it's very, very touristy. However, it's such a massive stone circle. It's actually got part of a village in it. It's that big. It's the biggest stone circle in the world, I'm assuming. A lot of the stones have disappeared, but they've marked where the stones were with like little concrete bollards, I suppose you would use the word. So you get a sense of how big the circle was. And there's a couple of really great shops in there that I went into. So I'm going to have a cup of tea. And Heart and Soul Connected, hello to you. Good to see you, Ali. I hope you're doing well. New Orleans is full of ghosts, as is San Francisco. I've been to San Francisco. Oh, I'm just catching up. Yeah, Gresham College. I've just seen that mentioned. Yeah. Tony, good afternoon. We are reunion of college pals with Donna. Oh, that's what he's going for there. You know what needs to be written? A magical practice for those with ADHD. I consider writing it. I have ADHD. Yeah, Gresham College is where Ronald Hutton often puts a lot of his talks on, and he's fantastic. That's on YouTube. It's free to go to. They've got Gresham College, got an amazing collection of videos that's just worth watching all the time. I've watched his lectures on YouTube, and they are interesting. Yeah, they're really good to listen to. I think I've caught up with everyone there. Not easy doing this on a tablet. Gerald, I don't know how you do it. Yeah, excellent Ronald Hutton lectures on Gresham College. Yeah. Oh, Donna says, do you see Ghost Beth? Never have two closed off again. Well, it's the time of the year, Donna, for it. So veil's thin, so you never know. Right, where was I? Avebury. So Avebury, yeah, big stone circle. I love walking around the circle. You can't do the full circle because an old road goes through it. So you kind of have to do half a circle, walk down, cross the road, and then pick the circle back up again and walk around it. And I'm actually gonna, before I show you what I bought in the shop, I'm gonna talk about something that I really would like some advice on what you think about this. So in a lot of places that are spiritual to people often tie things onto trees as a prayer or a thank you or an offering. Sometimes they're called cluted, I think. In Avebury, there's a fabulous, is it an elm tree? No, it's a beech tree. Big beech tree, in fact, probably 2 or 3 beech trees with all their roots on this mountain where the soil's washed out. So you can see all their roots, and it's beautiful. There's loads of really lovely photographs of these beech trees. And naturally, people have gone up and tied offerings there for centuries, I'm assuming, because the idea behind it of old was you took some fabric, some cotton fabric or some your hair, and you tied it onto the tree, normally to ask for something to disappear, so an illness or so like a wart, or I don't know, perhaps your husband, I don't know, but something that would wear down and disappear over time. And as the tree grew and as this thing got exposed to different weather systems, it would fall off and eventually disintegrate and disappear. And that was the idea. And as it disappeared, as it dissipated, these cloths, these cluties, it would take the illness with them. So I went to this part of Avebury yesterday, and this fabulous tree is there. It's beautiful. It is such a dryad. It is a really sacred space. And the tree was covered in ribbons, plastic ribbons that people had tied to the tree as part of their belief system, let's call it that one then. Now, plastic, we've already got massive problems with plastic in this world without starting to tie things onto trees that was never going to disintegrate. And if it does disintegrate or fall off, it's just going to go into the soil and poison it. So I'm really thinking about this as what's the right thing to do, because I'm gonna show you this, because this is the thing that upset me the most. And I took a photo of it. I'm going to show it to you. It might not appear, but this is what I saw. So somebody had been to this amazing tree and tied 2 bits of Christmas tinsel to it, and it was just there, and it was new tinsel because it wasn't rusty at all. And I'm like, my gut reaction was to take the thing off it because it's just out of place, poisoning, disrespectful, I suppose you want to call it that. My absolute, it got a real rage inside. And then I'm like, I can't do that. Somebody has put that there as an offering, and they have. It hasn't just been somebody's come along, got drunk. That's Christmas tinsel. Now in Avebury, it's a tiny village. They don't even sell tinsel. There's no supermarkets. There's literally 2 shops and a pub. So somebody had decided to bring that in, cut it up, and tie 2 parts of it to the tree as an offering, or as a prayer, or as a thought to someone. And I can absolutely understand the intention behind it, but the actual what's happened to it has just made me really, really sad. And my main thing, I just wanted to take the thing down. I'm like, well, what right have I got to do that? But at the same time, it's not good for the environment. It's certainly not good for the tree. All these plastic ribbons that people are tying onto them, they're not going to disintegrate. They're going to bite into the tree. They're probably going to hack into its roots. They're probably going to eventually kill the tree off altogether. So I'm really interested what people want to, think about this one. I mean, if you saw something like that, would you untie it? If you saw something like this, would you cut it off, or would you leave it? In the end, I obviously left it, and I've been thinking about it a lot, but I'm just really interested to see what people would do. And if you came across that, what would you do about it? So yeah, so let's. I'm just going to see if I can see people have already started putting up their comments. I'm just going to go through those. Hi, Jackie Crystal Moon. Good to see you here, my lovely. Good to see you. Catching up. Defilement, says Jamie. My personal opinion. You know what? I'm the same. I mean, this is firstly just not good for the tree. So that's why, regardless of whether it's a sacred space, the fact is you're actually just polluting and cutting into eventually a tree that's been there a very long time. I mean, we all got very upset when the tree was cut down at on Hadrian's Wall, if you know about that. And there's a famous tree right by the wall there, and somebody came and cut it down after 400 years. And the UK and the world was in outrage about it. But at the same time, it's the same kind of thing that's happening there. Beth says, sorry, but I would be act as an advocate for the tree. People have enough. I would protect the tree, but I'm bossy that way. Absolutely, I agree with that. Does it depend on the type of tree or tie to the ribbon? To be honest with you, it doesn't matter the type of the tree. The tree's still growing, but the ribbon itself is that stuff that florists. That's often with bouquets and flowers and things like that. I'm going to say floristry ribbon. It's the stuff that is you need to cut with scissors and you tie it on, and it's the stuff that's obviously it's made of plastic and kind of it you can see it cuts not cuts into, but over time it's going to restrict the trees growing its branches and stuff like that. So there, yeah. Um, Jamie says I'll take it down. It was a real difficult one because at the same time somebody has often people write on them as a prayer or something, and it's but we need to think about if we're going to do this, and we need to for people who do this kind of spiritually, these are people that love the world generally. These are people that love nature and want to work with nature. So why would you start that? And perhaps it's not. Perhaps it's people that are just thinking, "Oh, that's a nice idea," and sort of it's like tourist, touristy, pagany thing. I don't know, but I think what would be best would to be put up a sign, wouldn't it, saying only natural materials, please. I suppose that would be the best way of doing it. And or say anything that isn't of natural will be removed, or perhaps a local shop could perhaps sell bits of ribbon or the things that would actually be beneficial. That would be the best way. But unfortunately, I've seen this everywhere. Glastonbury, a lot of the trees in Glastonbury are have all this over it, and it just makes me really, really sad. Red Wing says, I just like any plastic ribbon or any synthetic fabric tied to trees is horrible. Yeah. Maybe someone has already taken it down and the tree was liberated. I hope so, but I think that there's very much a sense of somebody has journeyed with this with the intention to do this, and it's striking up understanding and balancing their beliefs and what they want with the good of the environment. Plus, also, I mean, I know there's no such thing as dharma. Could you imagine if you did it and you found yourself touching something that had been, I don't know, purposely blessed in a certain way? And would you feel comfortable doing that? I don't know. There's a lot of thoughts I was having about this tree as I was coming home. It is a shame, absolute shame. To be fair, it's not that anyone is going to know you took it down. So I would say take it down. Unfortunately, there were a lot of people around, and it's only a tip of the iceberg on that tree. There are hundreds and hundreds of similar ribbons, even tied around the roots. So how the poor tree is supposed to get any water over the centuries, I don't know. Agree, thank you. It can't be good for the tree. It's difficult. They might live locally and plan to return when they feel it's done. Absolutely, yeah. It is idealistic sometimes, although I would want to remove it. It's just, you know, for me, if ever I do something, I leave a hair, or where I was in Avebury yesterday, I picked some berries from the hawthorn and left those as offerings on the stones. Something that's natural, something that's supposed to, be there. Um, I think we just need to educate people. Perhaps that's the thing for me this year. Or next year, that's my thing. Clutie bashing. I don't know if that's the right term for it. I can't use something biodegradable. That's the whole thing, isn't it? Ignorance, possibly. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The sign should be asked about making biodegradable sub should be used. Yeah, yeah, that'd be the best way, wouldn't it? And probably things are going to go that way. Perhaps I should start a campaign. I think I belong to. I know that I belong to a Facebook page that talks about this and about when people leave offerings in certain places. Um, and I suppose it's quite a difficult thing because it's not much of a stretch of an imagination from that point to perhaps where people leave flowers by the roadside for people that have passed on in accidents, and leave candles and silk flowers and plastic flowers there. So I suppose it's a bit of a kind of a, a very touchy situation, a very touchy conversation that has to be had, isn't it? It's very interesting, and I think it will sort itself out. I think people will realise this, and I know there is growing passion behind moving this onto something more biodegradable. Yeah, I understand it's someone's good intention and possibly prayer, but to the ether. But this is a living creature. The trees get loaded down when people follow suit. You're absolutely right. Yeah, and it is just people going, "Oh, I've got this," you know, tying on bits of whatever it is there. You still can do something. What about emailing the city council, whatever, expressing that? Yeah, something they put up signs about the materials. That's, yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure they already have. And I'm sure, yeah, this isn't an active area, Avebury. When I've been there, there are druids I've seen moving around, working with the stones. On summer days, you'll see people um, from all sorts of religions um, working with the stones and the energies there. So I'm surprised that it hasn't moved on a bit. I know in Glastonbury there's a tree just by the entrance up to the tour, and I think that's got a sign on it about only using natural things. So perhaps that's what Avery needs. It needs somebody to write that email, but I'm sure somebody already has. But that's not a reason to not send another email, is it? There's nothing to do with their beliefs. The practice can be continued with a piece. You're quite right. Yeah, I suppose it's people getting hold of that stuff, getting a piece of plastic ribbon or a piece of fabric, regardless of whether it's made of plastic or cotton or what, is much easier than getting some hemp rope. But I don't know. I don't know what the answer is to that one there. Plus, is any of the ribbons do come off, they could be a hazard. You're absolutely right. It could be, yeah. I think they often have sheep grazing in the field. So yeah, that's a very nice point. It can be done. Yeah. It's like attaching a bunch of straw to the tree. Yeah. Thank you. This is really lovely. Thank you. I'm really pleased people are putting their comments in, because it was me thinking, am I just being, a grouch again about this one? Having moaned about people in metaphysical shops with their dogs. Now I'm moaning about, I am not a miserable person, I can say. Even in the Sami Ling monastery, there's a lot of taps tied to the clouty tree there, and even worse, taps are shrines to the nearby fairy hill. Yeah, and there is this Facebook group that I belong to where they do encourage people just to go along and clear it away, and that's difficult because that's, I said, that is tying to people's what they've done, but we have to respect our countryside and we have to respect our nature. Um, for some reason, I would feel or hear the tree say thank you. Also, then I think that's the actual point, is that when I went to this tree and I was hoping to go and just sort of sit by it, I literally turned around, saw it, took a photo, double took, shook my head, and walked off again. There was no energy there at all. It was just flat, the whole thing. Um, Back to education. Many generally don't know anything about biodegradable. Absolutely. It's the same thing, we have here recycle bins, recycle boxes. We're told what's recyclable, what isn't recyclable. Some stuff recyclable, but you have to take it to certain places. Yeah, the whole thing's, it's not difficult if you sit down and think about it. But people are very much used to, let's just put it in the bin and it's gone. It's not my problem anymore. Whereas, and so therefore, out of sight, out of mind, very much like, oh, we went and stuck a ribbon on a tree in Avery with all the other ribbons there, and they're not thinking, actually, that's a really bad thing to do. But yeah, start a campaign. That'll be the most effective action to take. I think so. Well, I'm going to post the picture on this Facebook group. I can't remember what it's called, unfortunately, but it is about taking action when something like that happens in nature. Yeah. Right. So let's finish off. So when I went and saw this tree and got upset, perhaps that was the reason why I then went and spent a fortune in the shop. I was upset. But I went to the Avery Hen shop. Now, for me, the Avery Hen shop, if you can't get to Glastonbury for whatever reason, because Glastonbury is a good few hours on travelling from Avery. So Avery is a good place to just be able to visit in a relatively short part of the day and get back again. It's got everything. And sometimes when I go into the hen shop, which has been there for many, many years, it's like feels like the mothership, feels like I'm coming home. Sometimes I can walk around it and go, no, there's nothing in here, nothing I wanted. Not this time. So what I did is I went round, picked up some bits that I wanted, and then I thought about other bits and pieces. So to go in, they've got musical instruments and shakers and rattles. They've got oils, they've got incense, candles. In the far corner, they've got clothing, t-shirts, things like that. Then as you go around, they've got jewelry. There was a beautiful pendant that I really, really liked, but I thought, I'm going to think about that one as I go shopping. Then they had a lot of Wyn Abbott pottery. I love Wyn Abbott pottery. I'll show you an example of Wyn Abbott pottery. It's these beautiful colours. So that's Wyn Abbott. There's another bit up here. Is the incense burner. And it's all handcrafted, and it's all got things like labyrinths and trees and whatnot on them. I've got the back for a break here. So Wyn Abbott pottery is it's my thing. And there were some lovely new pieces there, and I was like, do I? I don't know. There was a couple of ornaments that I really, really liked. I thought, no, let's just keep going around. You'll see something else you'll like. So I did. So I picked up some cards. So I'm going to show you these because you'll like these. This is wonderful. This is again Wendy Andrews, who I love her artwork. And as you know, if you do come see readings, I do a lot of her work with a goddess decks. So this is called Gaia's Winter Rest. I'm just going to tip it like that. So that it doesn't. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my goodness, that's amazing. I'm just going to catch up with people. Yeah. And then there's another one which I haven't seen before, and it's called Winter Solstice. And of course, it's got a barn owl on it, which is my absolute favourite. Yeah, love Wendy Andrews art. That's difficult to say there. Love Wendy Andrews art. Yeah. And then for some reason, I don't know why, because this doesn't always call to me, but this card I kept picking up and going back to, and I think it's just because it's the time of the year, but this is just called Grandmother Crone. It's a long card, so I don't know if you can see the cards in there. And obviously there's a set of 3 for this one, but this card, I had to buy it. Owls, I know. So that was it. They have other sections. There's a whole part of the shop that's given over to crystals. I'd already bought my crystals, as I said earlier. I didn't want to purchase anymore, but there's from tumbles right the way up to massive, huge pieces. Absolutely wonderful. Hi, Hershey. Good to see you here. Sending blessed and positive vibes. Thank you very much. It is indeed owls. Absolutely. Oh, Donna loves a bit of pottery. We'll hang in there for a moment. Donna, don't go anywhere just yet. Yeah, so that's the cards. I could have bought many more. They started to have some very lovely calendars in. Calendars that had moon phases, but they were like nearly 20 quid. And I'm like, I always get lots of calendars for Christmas, or buy them in the sales. I don't need a lunar one. I've got something on my phone that tells me what the lunar cycle is, but I'm not going to do that on there. And then I bought something that I've been umming and ahhing about for probably 2 or 3 years, and it's the Forest Bay. And I know most of you have seen this, or perhaps even have this one here, but it's the first time they had. What I like at the shop, they actually have boxes open so you can have a look at what the cards are like. So it was my first chance to actually go to have a look at them. And I thought this is going to work really well with a lot of some of the decks that I bought this year, like the Green Witch tarot and the dark wood and all those ones. Those are the backs of them there. Oh, sorry, they should go that way round because they are. Yeah, and they're just full of just these little wonderful. There's about 48, I think, just little sayings to the greenwood. Seek comfort and acceptance. Be kind to yourself. And I wasn't too sure about the artwork years ago when I saw this, but it has certainly grown on me, and I just enjoyed looking through them. So I'm not going to show you all of them, but you get the idea. So that's what it was. That was a tenner, the £10 rock pool there comes in this beautiful little box. So that was that. So I was like, okay, so that's £10, and I spent £10 on cards. Okay, there we go. And then this thing was still talking to me, so I went back and bought it. Are you ready? So this is the Win Abbott. Isn't he fabulous? I had never seen him before. I'm saying it to him. To me, it's to him. And he's handmade out of clay. This wonderful headdress. And his shield or drum. I'm thinking that's a drum. And he's got the stag on it. So it's like a Canuna, Lord of the Forest. And I'm just going to put him there. And he's going to sit there and work with the ancestors at this time of year. So that's the plan. He was £30, and I was like, do I? And I just went, I do this to myself all the time. I see something I like, I go, oh, no, do I? And then walk away, forget about it. And then 2 days later, absolutely regret it. And I don't think £30 is actually too much for him. He isn't massive, as in he's going to take up lots of space. And I just think he's going to look fantastic under any setting that he goes into. So I absolutely love him. I'm going to need to think of a name for him. I wanted to call him Kevin, but I didn't think that was particularly ancestral, so I'm not going to call him Kevin. If you got any suggestions, let me know. I love this today. There's lots of suggestions, like a quiz show. So that was my last purchase. So I bought the deck, I bought Kevin, and I bought the cards. And that was my collection of stuff for myself. And I've been on over an hour. Can you believe that? I can't. I'm only going to do 50 minutes, and then it's always. I love being here talking to you all. Don said, after a while, it's hard to keep getting decor that needs dusting. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's catch up with people. Everyone's saying hello to Hershey. Hello, hello, hello. You've got that deck. It is wonderful. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to using it. And it's really portable. I know it sounds silly, but I just wanted something that would just go into a bag and, it's there. Keep it in your bag. I've been back and forth on that deck too. Oh, really? Still haven't gotten it. Well, when the time's right, it'll come if it's supposed to. Good morning to everyone. You love the Forest Favour, Red Wing. And hello, hello, hello. Have I heard of the Archives of Nature Tarot by Ashley Cook, UK artist? I think you'd like it. Shite cardstock book. Right, let me write that one down then. What's it called? Archives of Nature. I'd have a look. I always like things like that. Getting people just stuff. I'll have a look. Thank you for that. That is beautiful. Thank you. Oh, it is unique. And again, it's Win Abbott pottery. And I just thought, I'm never going to see that again. And even if I did, I mean, if I went searching that on the internet, what would you search for? I don't know. So grab it. He was just £30. There were others that were a bit more expensive. And I just thought, do you know what? I kept thinking about him all the way around the shop. I was like, yeah, got to be done. Thank you. It's ceramic. It almost looks like wood. Yeah, it is. It's got this wonderful grain. I'm not going to keep picking him up. You've had a look at him. Yeah. Thank you. It is totem. Yeah, it's brilliant. He's not a Kevin. Okay, sorry. If you can suggest anything else, then let me know. Uh, uh, have you seen How Long's live version of, and I can't pronounce all of this, on YouTube? Very emotive. No, I haven't, but I will. I have listened to a lot of their work. Don't beat yourself up. You love it, bring it to happiness. Do you know what? Exactly what I thought. Exactly. Does it bring me joy? Yes. You only live once, and you can still buy food. Exactly. I just thought, do you know what? I'll just pick up an extra couple of shifts, pay for him in a week, and that'd be done. I've seen lots of people pair it, but I use it alone. Lots of knowledge when it stands alone to me. I have to pair it with one of mine to see if it gets a stronger message. That'd be interesting to do that. Yeah. Oh, it's a wonderful video. I have to look out for that one there. So that is my little purchases. Thank you. I've only got one more thing, well, a couple more things to go through. Next week is a really busy week. I have got Longstash with Gerald and I think Betsy Palmer on Monday. Now, just a reminder here, if you're in the UK, you'll know this, but tonight our clocks change from British summer time to UK GMT, which means tonight at 2 o'clock our clocks go back an hour, which means the UK is an hour behind, but I know that America hasn't gone back yet. But I know this because I've had a conversation with Gerald. So he's doing our long stash at 2 p.m. Eastern time, but it will be 6 p.m. UK time. So if you're going to come to Longstash, it won't be at 7 p.m. on Monday. It'll be 6 p.m. I think it's just a couple of weeks before everyone else goes back to their winter time. But just to let you know, if you're going to plan to be watching that in the UK, it's going to be 6 p.m. Find the link, like and subscribe. We're simulcasting, so if you subscribe to the channel and you've hit my alarm bell, you'll get the alarm. But just to let you know that there's going to be a different time change to that one there. So that's one thing there. Oh, Floki. Oh, that's a good idea. Can we see him again for naming inspiration? Okay. So this is Kevin. Okay. He has got a drum. So, if you want to name him after a famous drummer, I can't think of any famous drummers apart from Ringo. Perhaps Ringo isn't right either. Okay. Karen Carpenter was a drummer, wasn't she? Anyway, I'm not being sensible. Sorry. There we go. So there he is. Bit of inspiration. He's got like a kind of headdress like that, kind of reindeerish. So perhaps something Nordic. And he sits like that. I'll see in a moment. So whilst you're having a think about that one, let's have a little look at the comments there. Wilder. Oh, I'm going to write these down. Beth says Wilder. With a Y. Okay. What else have we got? Oh, Jesus, the clocks. Yeah. You get an extra hour in bed. That's fine. Candy's here. Hello, my lovely. Good to see you here. I've been watching all your videos. That deck, the landscape deck, it's on my Christmas list. I absolutely love the look of it. It's always so confused. It would be okay if everyone else did it, I think. But the fact is, in the other countries, it's all different. Anyway, it's only for a little while, isn't it? So there we go. Have I missed the fun? Yeah, we've put the world to rights. We've looked at cards. We've looked at books. We've talked about tying plastic to trees as an offering. We've done it all today. Does that mean you'll be an hour early on Friday afternoons here? Okay, so I was halfway explaining. So on Monday, I will be at 6 p.m. UK time, but it's still 2 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. Then I am with Orshi on Tuesday doing readings. And I don't know yet. We haven't worked that time out yet. Don't know whether Orshi's time changes, and I will ask her about that one. We haven't worked out a time for that, but it will be the evening. Wednesday is we got through Halloween, so we're going to be doing something else. I don't know whether I'm going to do a live next Friday or not. I'm going to probably do a live because it's coming up to bonfire time and November the 5th. And so I might do a live based around November the 5th, although it's not November the 5th, but bonfire night. So that is going to, and I don't know when the clocks change in America. So I think it's just for a little bit longer. But yeah, up till then, we're going to be 4 hours difference rather than 5. I hope that makes sense. No, not Kevin. Okay. Yeah, Hen's here. Thanks for the reminder about the clocks. It gets very confusing, doesn't it? You're getting female vibes. Well, I got that. Yeah, I did get that initially. Perhaps we go for a name where it doesn't matter. They're not Kevin then. I think Kevin was your first thought. You should stick to it. Can I just call him the ancestor or them the ancestor? That might be the best way. But I like Ken. You need a Dave. There are others in the set, so don't get me started. Dave, as in Dave the Bard. Now that's interesting. You bring him up because tomorrow I'm so fortunate, weather permitting. I'm going to a Salwyn celebration outside at the foot of the South Downs, right underneath the chalk figure of the Long Man of Wilmington, and it's run by Andrea de Gorsid, which is my local group, of which Dave the Bard is one of the leaders. And so I'm going to hopefully, all being well, be there tomorrow to see Dave and listen to some of his songs. So that's exciting. But that's a good idea. I'll write him down as well. You never listen to Dave the Bard, do. Loads of fantastic songs. Uh, there can only be one ring go wild of Wild Hound. You're selling this one to me. You really, truly are. Donna's got to run. You take care, my lovely. Lovely to see you here. A good Viking name like Freya or Loki. Loving it. And ooh, I like the ancestor though. Just calling him the ancestor, not having another name to it, or the ancestor. Okay. Bye, Donna. Bye, Donna. Spell it sci-fi. Cave in. I like that one there. How about bark? A link with the trees you love. Candy, that's a nice idea. Bark. Well, I don't know why I go around saying this because I always say I'm going to do this and then invariably it don't, particularly Candy when you're on here because I know how creative and wonderful. But I have bought some clay and I don't know if you've seen Sandra's got this wonderful kind of ornament that's like a sacred space, like a temple, Glastonbury. It's wonderful. I'm going to have a go at trying to make my own of that one there at some point. I'm not going to rush it. I need to draw up some more plans, but perhaps give him a bit of a home to live in. That might be. Oh, Olin. Oh, gosh, you guys are really helping me. Can he be Kevin Olin? I don't know. I love Olin. Absolutely. Get that one there. So, where was I? Thank you for all those wonderful pieces of names. I'm going to sit and think about them. Olin, I like that. Yeah, so lots of things coming up this week. I'm on lots of people's channels, so do like and subscribe and everything that you normally do. Wednesday, I think I'm doing stuff as well. I'll let you know with Lainey and Orshi and other people as well. I'm going to be a ceramicist. No, no, nothing like that. It's going to be a disaster. I can tell you that now. But positive thinking. We're going to do something lovely here. Okay. So I will. I'm not going to make a bit. I'm not going to be brave like Chris, who would do painting live. I'm not going to do that. It's going to happen. Okay. But I'm going to give it a go during the winter months. And do some work on that one there. So we'll have to see how it goes. Yeah, so I'm going to be live next Friday. Hopefully, look out for the notification, because as I say, we will still be in no longer in British summertime, so the hour change will have affected us. Not sure when other countries are going back, but just look out for that one there. And heads up, I suppose, the 17th, November the 17th, I'm not doing a live. This is my exciting piece of news that I wanted to finally share with people. I have been invited to go to a wellness evening event run by a local hotel to read tarot to people for money. I know that's exciting because I haven't done that really for a very, very long time. So that's going to be on Friday the 17th. So I won't be doing a live. I won't be streaming from there because that's a bit too much going on. But I'm going to be there doing readings for people, 15-minute readings, donating money, obviously, to some of the charities that I support. So the Woodland Trust will be getting some of the money from readings that I do. But I wanted to share that with you because I'm actually quite excited to be actually reading for human beings face to face, rather than, as much as I love doing the computer one and doing it live, I can't wait to be sort of laying my table out and getting the incense going and doing that meeting and greeting that you do with reading. So that's exciting, and hopefully that will take off, and there might be a bit more longevity in that one as well. So I'm hoping that's the case. So but I'll give you plenty of warning on that one. But there will be a few lives coming up, and I'm going to try and stick to my normal Fridays in between doing that as well. So there's a lot happening this week, which is why, again, I didn't do this Friday, because we were traveling back and the weather was bad, and yeah, anyway. But I'm here now, and I have absolutely enjoyed spending time with you. That sounds wonderful. It is awesome, and I'm a little bit nervous. And actually, probably what I'm going to do is a live beforehand, probably next week, talking about spreads that you can do for people who you're reading live for. You've got 15 minutes. What spreads would work, and we'll have a conversation about those ones. So yeah, so that's the plan. So I'm excited to do it. Kristen says I did a reading for someone the other night in person, and she said it was the best reading she'd had. I felt so good. It's so lovely to have that feedback, isn't it? And I just haven't done reading in person for such a long time, and I'm looking forward to it. Slightly nervous about doing it again, but I know that I've spent a lot of time doing readings on here to lots of you lovely people. So, I have the confidence to do it. So, oh, Kat, that's really sweet. Thank you so much for saying that. That's very sweet of you. Do up a little info on biodegradable stuff to put on the trees for the day. You maybe spread the awareness while still doing readings. Yeah, that's a really good idea. Oh, there's Basil's tail. Come on, Baz. Come sit down. We're nearly at the end. Yeah, you can sit there. There we go. Yeah, absolutely good idea. And Jen, hello. Enjoyed spending. It's lovely spending time with you, Jen. I'm so pleased that our time streams could work today. And my daughter's really enjoying touring Australia, by the way. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, right. And there is Basil. We had to put an entrance in there. Right, my lovely. I'm going to say goodbye to you. Thank you for joining me. I've done nearly an hour and a half. I wasn't planning to. Thank you for allowing me to show you the stuff that I bought. And I'm going to see you around next few days. Have a wonderful Samhain if I don't see you before then. And yeah, take care and have a great weekend. So I'm going to roll the final titles. Bye, everyone.